up, everybody? Thank you for joining me for this week's sessions. We are continuing our series on the belief system. Last week we talked about fear factor, and this week we're going to deal with the BS. We're dealing with our belief system. So stay tuned and we can get started on overcoming our limiting beliefs. So, what is a limiting belief? What is a belief system? Well, they are a combination, a compilation of our ideas, beliefs, mantras that we consciously or subconsciously hold, and they determine what we believe is true or not. And these beliefs they are usually passed down from generation to generation through attitudes, through common sayings and beliefs that we hear all the time as children, or we see what type of attitude our parents or culture around us has about certain things, and so then we take on those same attitudes and beliefs. But they affect us in every area of our lives, even when we desire to do something. If those beliefs say that we can't for various reasons, then that usually will stop us from doing something, or keep us from doing something, or cause us to do something. And so they are things that tell us we can or cannot. And like I said, they come up for various reasons. And these reasons might include a traumatic experience that happened to us. So we do or don't do something based on this traumatic experience, that hurt us, or that person hurt us. And so I can't be around people like that. And so that's what I believe. Or it happens through education, through our culture, or just through what we've heard or what we saw coming up. So, for example, I know you have all heard the common saying, life is hard, or I got to pay my dues first. And so, if we go with the example, life is hard, this could be potentially limiting, because people will accept or even fabricate difficult situations because they believe that that is normal and that is what is expected. So sometimes if they are in a situation where it's restful, it's peaceful, they'll cause arguments, or they'll make up things to cause a situation to be difficult, because that's what's normal for them, that's what's expected. And they believe that if it's not this way, then something is wrong. But if you're always in a difficult situation, then that can keep you from moving forward. Or the other example might be love is pain. So if you grew up as in an abusive situation, or you seeing people that say they love each other abuse one another, then that's what you think love is. And so when somebody says they love you and they, abuse you or misuse you in any way, you think that that's normal. And so that's where you stay, because for you, love is supposed to be painful. The other example might be, oh, I got to pay my dues. And this promotes a feelings of unworthiness, and it causes us to not take opportunities because we think it's too soon. And so we might be like punishing ourselves if we do something really well and then we receive accolades for it. And so we don't take it, or we allow someone else to talk us out of situations, because they'll say, oh, well, I've been here 10, 15, 20 years and you only been here 3 years, and how are you getting a promotion? How are you able to do this? And so because deep down that's what you believe, oh, I got to pay my dues first, you'll allow them to talk you out of it, because that's what you believe is true. But don't do that. If you've done the work and you're being rewarded for it, take the opportunity. So how do you begin to change these limiting beliefs? Number one, you first have to identify that you have them, and you can begin to do that by asking a series of questions. And I want to give you a few questions that you can begin to ask yourself. So if you have pencil and paper, get them and go ahead and write these things down, so that you can ask yourself and really think about these things later. Number one, has this belief caused me to stop at some point during, my journey to achieve this goal, or I don't even try it at all? Has this belief caused me to stop at some point or not try at all. The second question is, why is that true? Why do people say that? Why do people believe that that's true? Number three, where did that even come from? Why do people say that? Why do people do that? And so oftentimes we're saying or doing things because we've seen it before. We've seen people do it before, but we don't know why they say that or why they're doing that. For example, there's a story of a young lady who was cooking, a recipe. And so part of that recipe was that you had to cut the ends off of the meat, season it and put it in the pan. That's what she was taught. That's what she saw her mother do. And that's what her mother saw the grandmother do. And that's how you did it. Well, one day the young lady asked the grandmother, why do we have to cut the meat off? Why do we have to cut the ends off the meat? And the grandmother told her, well, when I first made this recipe, my pan wasn't big enough for the meat, so I had to cut the ends off so that it would fit. But now the mother had a pan big enough. She had a pan big enough, and so but they were still cutting off the ends of the meat, and so she realized that this was unnecessary. This didn't really have anything to do with how good the meat was. It didn't have anything to do with the recipe. But the grandmother did it because it was necessary for her. And so sometimes people say things or people started doing things because that was what was required for them at the time, but it's no longer necessary. It's no longer effective for you or for this day and age. So why are we still doing that? Why do we still believe that? So is number four, the fourth question you want to ask is there any evidence that goes against this limiting belief? Like I said, like with the story about the meat, she believed that the meat had to be done like this in order for it to taste good. But when she asked, she found out that that wasn't true. But if you can't go and ask the original source, then you have to look for other evidence that says that this limiting belief is in fact false and no longer true or never was true. So you can begin to look at, have other people done anything similar, or have you done anything similar? And oftentimes we might, if it's something that nobody has done before, or we have to begin to look at, have there been other people that have been in a situation where they were doing something that hadn't been done before. And so that's evidence. If they did it, if they accomplished it, then that's evidence that even though it may not have been done before, things that haven't been done before can be done. And so we have to begin to ask ourselves and find evidence that it can be done, because the truth of the matter is, whatever you're looking for, you'll find. And so oftentimes when we believe something, we will just come upon evidence seemingly all on its own that confirms what we believe. So for instance, have you ever been car shopping and you're looking for a certain type of car, and then all of a sudden you start seeing that car on the road, or you if you're looking for a car, all of a sudden you start noticing different things about different cars because you're searching for a car. And so you start seeing cars, you start seeing the type of car that you want. So whatever you're looking for, you'll find. So if you want evidence that this can in fact be done, I can do this, you will find it. And so you also want to do, part of this is you begin to implement these empowering beliefs. And so that includes finding evidence that it can be done. And that also consists of having daily affirmations. Have some point in the day where you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, you can do this, or you are worthy, or things that will empower you to be able to do what it is that you really want to do. And so especially after you've unearthed and uprooted those limiting beliefs, you want to now plant new beliefs and water those new beliefs so then those can continue to grow and become strong. And that can be the confirming voice that you hear, every day, rather than that ugly nagging voice that says that you can't do it, this will never work. And we're going to talk about that voice, that nagging voice as well in the future. So I do hope this was helpful. Please take the time to do some self-evaluations, to answer the hard questions about yourself, and so that you can begin to unearth those things and begin to finally accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. Because if you change your mind, you can change your life. I hope this was beneficial for you, and keep tuning in. And again, if you need your own personal life coach, look me up on my website, www.KimberlyAMatthews.com, and you can also find me on TikTok at ThinkWealth24. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.